Are you ready to take your finances to the next level? Are you ready to learn what's not taught in schools regarding building generational wealth? If your answer is yes, welcome to the conversation. Let's talk income shifting. Let's talk cash flow management. Let's talk improving your credit score. Let's talk investing. Let's talk finance with Melissa and Tony.
Hey, you froze?
Yep.
You look a little. I was gonna say you look a little frozen. All that time in that California sunshine, you weren't ready to come back. So
Man, I could. Wow.
Okay, you moved.
I don't know what's going on. Hey, it's locking up. Let me see if I can go on my phone.
Okay. While he getting himself together, happy Thursday, everybody. Today is December the 21st. And I know what's on everybody's mind is almost December the 25th. To be honest, I'm gonna be straight up honest with y'all. I just have not felt like the holiday was coming, you know? And then when I realized it is actually Monday, I was like, damn, that came fast. And you know, everybody's asking the same questions. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? I'm like, as ready as I am going to be. You know, there's only so much readying you can do. All right.
What's going on? I'm sorry. I apologize. My computer acting up.
Well, you look, we see you moving and everything now, so you good.
Okay, I'm on my cell phone. I had to go old school.
Oh, okay. Well, you know I'm old school too, so we can sing old school together.
Okay, what's happening? What's happening?
No, I was just telling them, you know, today's the 21st. We only got 4 more days left for the big holiday, and you know everybody asking the same question: You ready? You ready? You ready? I'm like, it's only so much ready I can do.
Absolutely. How much money you want me to spend? Because that's what it seems like it's all about right now. It's like who getting gifts and who ain't getting gifts. Who been naughty? Who been nice?
I think everybody I know been naughty, so
I know that's right.
it made shopping a lot easier.
I know that's right.
I ain't been naughty. I'm slapping my own wrist. I ain't giving myself nothing.
I know that's right. Ain't nobody getting nothing.
Well, you've been on the road.
I have.
Y'all concussion morphine or airplane morphine been satisfied?
Woo. I'm boinked. I'm boinked out. But hey, let's dive into. You know, we ain't got a whole lot of time, and we want to board people out there. Let's dive into the situation.
What's the situation? Oh, first, for anybody who's joined us for the first time, welcome to the show. I am Melissa King. I'm a home-based business owner, and my partner over here, Professor Clopton. We get on here every Tuesday and Thursday, and we talk about a subject that everybody can relate to, whether you have some or whether you don't. We all can relate to money. So, our job with our business is to teach people or guide people or show people where they can get the information and what they need for financial success. How everybody defines financial success is different, but regardless of how you define it, I'm sure that in our business in a box, or the membership that you get, you will find something that is beneficial. So
Absolutely.
I'm gonna let Professor Clopton introduce himself.
Okay, so hey everybody, I am Tony Clopton. I'm out of the Hoover, Alabama area. I am a full-time father, husband, and auto worker. And if y'all don't know, man, they are killing us at the end of the year. They's pushing numbers. People got to be there. People falling off. People ain't coming to work. So it's just a big old mess, y'all. But look, we at the end of the year, like Melissa said, we got something that we want to share with you guys, and hopefully y'all can understand, because it's all about how we deliver the information, and hopefully y'all can understand what we're talking about.
Exactly. So how do you want to start off tonight? I know you mentioned, you had some things you want to share with us. So I'm
Okay.
gonna give you the floor.
Okay, so I'm gonna be in my feelings for just a little bit, but I'm not gonna stay in there long, because nobody wants to hear a long speech about how life is tough. But shout out to my baby girl. She just had her 16th birthday a couple of days ago,
Yeah.
and me and the family, we flew out to California. Now, here is the thing: I saw some things out there that kind of troubled me. My heart was troubled, Melissa. Uh, the weather was okay, but at night it got a little bit cooler. I
Okay.
saw a lot of homeless people down there. I
Mm.
mean, in this great country of ours, we got people sleeping under bridges, barely got clothes on their back, rummaging through the trash cans trying to find food. And I'm like, man, this is supposed to be the richest country in the world, and we got people struggling.
That's true.
So, man, it kind of touched me to a point where, when we talk about financial success, you talking about one stream of income can be hazardous to your health and your wealth.
That's
Now, how
true.
many people do you know rely on their job, and their job alone, that's all they got is one stream of income? Melissa, let's talk about that.
I'm gonna say probably more than 90% of the people that I know in my circle,
Mm,
are depending on the job. There are a few outliers, but for the most part, everybody's depending on that one job.
mm. You know what? In my mind, I was thinking, if I lost my job today, where would my income come from? Everybody need to be thinking like this. If you lost your job today, how long would the savings you have
Hmm.
sustain you? That's the question we all got to ask ourselves.
But I actually had the opportunity to put that theory to use. I joined my econ back in 2015. And that was in November, and I had just started a new job, and it was going really well, and had gotten comfortable. And I'm gonna say around April or May, we started hearing talks that our contract may not be renewed because we were a contract company. And even with all of that, I'm still thinking, you know, you just don't think this could be it. So I started seeing people get laid off and laid off and laid off. And then it got down to where it was probably about a handful of us left, literally 5 or less of us left. And we kind of started writing on the wall, but a part of me was still like, well, they they can't just take a job away from us. They got to find something for us to do. No, they do not.
Mm,
They do not. And so the timing could not have been better because, like I said, I started my econ in November. So I had already gotten to work on building an emergency fund, on paying off debt, got ahead on my car note, trying to pay it off early. So little did I know that the Lord was really preparing me for what was coming up the road because I kid you not, had that situation happen when I was still following my old financial no plan, and that's what it
mhm,
was, no plan.
mm, right.
I would have been up a creek without a paddle,
Mm,
and that's just being 100. So, and even with me having the emergency fund set up, my stomach was still feeling a little queasy because I'm like, when am I gonna get another job? So it just made me realize how dependent I am on a job. So that whole experience made me look at savings and putting aside money and what's important and what's not important financially in a whole different way. Because I think I ended up going from June to August without a job. That's the longest since I've been working that I had ever been out of a job. And it's just not a good feeling. So for people out there, I've never been homeless. Not that it couldn't happen. I mean, a lot of those people that you saw, probably their circumstances, they didn't think they would end up that way as well. So, you can't take for granted. You gotta be prepared. You gotta have a plan B. And so that's really what the strategies are about. A plan B, C, D, and E sometimes.
Absolutely. You know what? I gotta say this. It's like, your story is your story. Can't nobody take that from you. You had a situation where you was at a point where you didn't know where your paycheck was coming, where your food was coming from, but you made preparations. Now, shout out to some of the key leaders. Last week we had a Super Saturday. Our business has Super Saturday once a month, and they have some of the top leaders come in and they talk about their success and some strategies. One particular segment of that Super Saturday training, they talked about the biblical part of my econ. It's like it's preparing us for disaster. Like Ecclesiastes 2:11-2, it talked about how God wants us to have multiple streams of income. And it says, for we know not the disaster that's around the corner. Now, recently we had the pandemic. We've had job losses. We have people on strike. We have, all kinds of diseases. Yeah.
The weather,
So
tornado victims and stuff.
yeah, absolutely. Tornadoes, we have all of these things coming up. And God is trying to wake us up to know that if you're relying on a job alone, it was said and it was written that you're supposed to have multiple streams of income. Now, here's the thing. I hate to get too churchy with y'all, but we have to understand that some of the stuff that we are not doing for ourselves is because of our own fault.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If we're relying on a job to take care of you, that's on you. Now, we're here to share information that help us. Now, we have to allow our story to be told through our experiences. You have to get the experience for yourself. So if you go through some trouble and trauma, that storm, it was probably meant for you, because you're not going to move unless things get bad. You have to experience some pain for yourself. So it's a true saying. They say nobody knows who's swimming naked when the tide is high. That make any sense, Melissa?
I'm trying to detangle that.
Okay, so when the water's up.
So can't nobody see what's going on beneath the surface when everything is,
it's flowing. When the tide is high, that means they can only see you from the neck up.
Right. Okay.
They don't see you butt naked. They don't see you butt naked at the bottom.
Uh-huh.
So, but when the tide gets low, that's when everybody's exposed. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's a true statement. It's like you have to prepare yourself for those bad situations, and our system definitely it captures what we're supposed to be doing individually. So we can talk a little bit about how my econ has prepared us for storms, prepare us for the disasters around the corner, which we all should be thinking that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's dive into our solutions. I didn't want it to sound gloomy. It's just the fact that I said so many people are homeless, and I'm sure people had college degrees. People had homes at one time. People had food and a roof over their head. And like, what happened? How did they end up there? Maybe it was because they had that one stream of income, and then when their job failed them, they were out on the streets.
Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying about you don't want to be gloomy, but that is a part of life. Life is, that's one thing I've been trying to teach my daughter. Every day is not going to be a fun day. And you have to be prepared for when it's not like that. And then the other thing that I tell her is appreciate the good days. Because a lot of times those bad days help you appreciate the good ones even more. So we can say the same thing financially. Appreciate, even though you might go through some financial slumps and you find yourself down low and you might be between jobs, it might be, during the pandemic, some of everything was going on. They were raising prices and lowering prices, and some people get this and then some, so everybody kind of felt it to some degree, during the pandemic. I think that probably captures everybody. I don't know nobody who probably floated through that. They had some concern somewhere. So,
right.
Yeah, but those low points, when things did kind of start normalizing and getting back to the way they should be, it made you appreciate those good days versus what you was going through with during the pandemic. So, unfortunately, though, financially, a lot of stuff has not changed. I keep looking at, me and you have had conversations about the housing market and prices and inflation. And the truth of the matter is, it's not going to go back to the way it was.
Right.
So it's like having to learn to deal with your new normal. So, the biggest product to me, the biggest benefit I got out of this business, like I just said, was learning about having an emergency fund. I cannot stress that enough. They don't give you a specific amount, but what I think is a good guide, they said all of your monthly expenses times 3.
Mm-hmm.
So if you end up, after you pay your mortgage, or if you're a renter, your rent, your car note, your utilities, whatever that total is, usually set a goal to try to put that much up times 3, so that if anything happens for 3 months, you at least for those 3 months you're okay.
So let's stop right there. So it's so many people out there saying, I can't save. I'm barely living now. I'm living paycheck to paycheck. And this is where our system is so powerful, because people don't know, if you have a job, you could possibly be overpaying in your taxes. So let's start from you joining My Econ and how you were able to get that emergency fund. So let's take it back 8 years ago. So you've been in the business for 8 years, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's take it back 8 years. Let's talk about you thinking you going to jail and you saying Tony was a genius and all of that. So let's talk about how you thought I was a genius for sharing this information. I think that's how the story went. I'm not really sure, but I think let's start right there.
You have such a creative imagination. But honestly, I will say this. My thing. So if we rewind the clock back let's go back 8.5 years ago.
Okay.
That's when I first started seeing Tony post, because he started about 6 months before I did. So I'm in a situation where, I'm divorced. I have one child. We're renting. I don't have a mortgage, so I don't have that house as a deduction that everybody was throwing in my face. See, if you had a house, well, I don't have one now. So I had the child. The child was like 5, so we weren't doing daycare anymore. So I wasn't getting that exemption or whatever for that. So and God is good. I had a decent, more than decent job. I'm not gonna complain about the job. But the problem is, as we've said before, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep. And I was not getting to keep enough of my own money, because I'm going around, and at the time prior to joining this, when I was still at the old job, they were killing us with overtime. And the overtime was a blessing. I'm not gonna say complain about that altogether, but because I didn't understand the whole tax system and everything, they was eating me up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like every time I took a bite, they took a bite. As far as
a bigger bite. Right.
I'm like, dog, it's my sandwich. Can I have more than you? But anyway, I was like that was my thing. I was like, I feel like I'm out here working myself. I'm doing 60 hours a week, but still, I don't feel like I'm bringing home the amount of money I should. I had them taking extra money out of my check, because even with them taking it out during the year, a lot of times I was still end up owing. at the end of the year, and it was killing me because I'm like, y'all already bleeding me dry during the year. Now I gotta get on a payment plan and try to pay you back, you know?
Right.
So for me, I was pretty much at my wit's end because I'm like, what's left that I can do? So
Yeah.
I see Tony, he's on Facebook, he's posting about, the business he's doing, and he kept using the term cash flow, cash flow, cash flow. And I'm like, what does that mean? I'm trying to figure out, how does cash flow equal to more money? So like I said, I've told this story before. Curiosity finally got the best of me because I didn't have a plan. And even if I had one, it was not working. Because this November, in another 2 months, it's going to be time to file taxes. And I'm going to go through this same thing again, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I talked to Tony and he's telling me about starting a business and I'm listening to him talk. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, what business am I going to do? What business am I gonna start? I'm like really in my head. I'm listening to him, but at the same time, I'm like, by the time he finished talking, I got to have a business to tell him I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't come up with nothing because I'm not like I am not a gifted baker. I'm not making jewelry, all that type of stuff. So I'm like really trying to figure out what am I gonna do. So he tells me this is the business, and I'm just like, what is the business?
What? What?
So I'm like, what? So he when I finally stopped thinking, because I was so busy thinking that I wasn't hearing. So when I finally stopped thinking and listened to what he was saying, that was when I finally understood the business is sharing the financial education, the financial knowledge. It doesn't have to be any formal, whatever. Me and him having a conversation over the phone. And I'm gonna say we probably talked maybe about an hour that day.
Mm-hmm.
That 1 hour of casual conversation, he didn't have to rent out no hall and have a big table set up and a projector. We sat there and talked on the phone. He told me exactly how this business could benefit me. He helped me walk through updating my W-4, and that really, like you always say, was the seed money. That was what I was missing. Because
so let's break this down for people out there that don't understand what the W-4 is. So
Okay.
I'll help you walk through the W-4, right? The purpose of the W-4.
The purpose of the W-4 is to let the IRS or Uncle Sam know how much money should be coming out of your paycheck for taxes. And if you're like me, you're like, well, we don't have no control over that. They're gonna do that regardless. No, they do it based on how you fill that form out. But if you are not familiar with the form and don't know its purpose, it's kind of hard to know whether you're doing it correctly. And so what I figured out was, number one, I wasn't really doing it correctly in the first place. But then, back then it was a two-sided form. And so we flipped over to the other side because now I'm a business owner. I have a business. So that was just like somebody came in and took the key and opened the door, and it's like, ding! And I'm walking in and I think, okay, what am I supposed to do with this? Because I'm still confused about what is me doing this form gonna do? So that, and I'm gonna say this: don't y'all expect to jump in the first day, understand everything that's being told to you. I did not understand it. I got the concept of what I felt like he was trying to tell me, but at the same time, I couldn't sit down and break anything down and explain to anybody. So, I gave him the speech. I don't want to go to jail. I ain't gonna do good in jail. And so, he assured me, he gave me the history of the company, and I'm still looking like,
what's the history of the company? If you don't mind, could you tell us a little bit about the history of the company?
Sure. Now, when I started, it was 8 years ago, so they have been around for about 10 years, because there is 18 now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our company was started by two gentlemen who both had financial backgrounds. We have Mr. Alvin Curry and Mr. Ivy Stokes. These two gentlemen had already been working in the financial arena for years, and they got together and decided that they wanted to help other people understand what they knew. And they knew that in the community, there's so many people that have no clue about money that this couldn't only be a win-win, you know? So they took on the job of going in, breaking down what they already knew as far as the tax laws and finance and everything, and they put it in a understandable format so that an everyday Joe like me, or Joanna like me, could understand the tax system and the finance system. And it's like, you know, the only thing left after they did their part down, you know, did their part of breaking it down, was getting the word out. So that was where the business members come in, because as you come in and you understand and you learn, you share, and hopefully other people will now have a testimony. They'll share, and at the same time, we're accomplishing two things. One thing, we are fixing our finances. You know, that's the best thing in the world. But the second thing we're doing is we are creating a nation of people who understand money. And like, I just feel like Mr. Stokes and Mr. Curry could have cut it off at them understanding money and them continuing to make money. But they ventured out and wanted to start a business where they taught everybody who is willing to learn how to do it. And I just think that's the most unselfish thing that they could have done. So, you know, not only did they come up with the business, they made it affordable so that you don't have to be rich to come in and do this business. If you had, when I started, if you had $34.95 a month, you were in business. And then they even showed you how to write that part off where you would get that money back. So it was just a matter of being prepared to come in and listen and repeat. You know, what is it they say, rinse and repeat? The same thing. I mean, the information is not overwhelming when you think about it and when it's broken down to you. So all you have to do is apply it. And then, like Tony said, you know, people are always gonna say, "Well, I don't have the money to do that, and I can't afford $34.95 a month." What if you sat down and you updated your W-4? And because I'm gonna be honest, when I updated mine, my next paycheck, I got an additional $400 on my paycheck, and I'm looking at this check. I mean, you know, I want a paper check. I'm online looking at my account, and I'm scratching my head like, how does this work? You know, I'm still like, how does this work? And then so, you know, I was like, well, shoot, this just one paycheck. I get paid twice a month. So that's $800. So that money right there. And where it came from was when I decided to become a business owner, the government said, look, all right, you're doing us a solid. You getting out there, you know, waking up the economy, getting people to buy something, or you know, you're moving the economy. So they like foreign incentive, you know, whatever it takes you to run this business, we're gonna give you a percentage of that back. So if you having to drive around and do different stuff, we'll spot you on some gas. We'll pay for half your gas. Because then when I first started, it was right at 50 cents a mile. So if they paying 50 cents and I'm paying 50 cents, we split my gas. And then they said, well, you know, we understand you're working from home. You're gonna have to use your internet. You're gonna have to use your phone. It's not just you on there playing around. This is business. So tell you what, we'll cover your internet fee. We'll pay for all of it, you know. And then I'm like, my phone too. They like, well, do you have a home phone? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, okay, we'll cover the cell phone. But if you don't have a home phone, we can only do 85%. I'm like, that's still a lot. I'll take it, you know. So it's like, it was almost like that. It's like you sitting down having a conversation with Uncle Sam, and he's telling you what he's going to do for you since you are helping to stimulate the economy. So it's what they said, it's some saying they say about it, even swap ain't no swindle or something like that. So it's like, it's like, okay, since you are doing this and you getting people to go out there and activate the economy, and you know, it's so many other ways people can stimulate the economy and not benefit from it. You know, you got people out there who are, and I'm not trying to trying to rag on people that do the casino, but I know people in my own family that if they could, they would be in Tunica every weekend, stimulating the economy down there and not benefiting from it at all because
It's okay. It's okay to step on some toes because people need to have these grown folk conversations. I know people that say they don't have the money, but they play the football pools every week
right.
and they losing. Everybody can't win on a football pool. So it's just crazy to me how people can be entertained out of that money, but would not invest $10 to learn how to keep some of their money. But we ain't talking about nobody because I done done it myself. But at the same time, we have to be smarter with our money because it's going to be a lot of people out there going to take advantage of you. You're not going to always win. But in this case, a business is a win-win because even if you're not making profit, you can at least bank the savings behind becoming a business owner.
Thank you. And that's what it took me a minute to understand. Like, if I'm not bringing in all these new people to sign up, how am I going to benefit? Because, we automatically think selling something, commission. True enough, that is a good thing. That is the second strategy. The first strategy was the one I used when I updated my W-4 and got that extra $400 and was able to kind of go through and start cleaning up. And, that's a big responsibility, too. When you start getting that extra money, you're going to have to use it in the right way. Now, had I taken that $400 and went out there and went shopping and bought a bunch of useful stuff, it wouldn't have benefited me to have the extra money if I'm just going to blow it,
Right. Mm-hmm.
So part two in getting this business going and getting the benefit is learning how to use it responsibly.
Right.
And the business teaches you that too. They don't tell you you can't never ball out again, or you can't never, buy a car that costs over this much money. That's your personal decision. What they do is teach you the consequences of making bad decisions and the benefit of making good decisions. So it's almost like, that they're guiding you on the best way to get wherever you're trying to go. It's almost like, now I'm not going to get in the car and drive you over there, but I'm going to give you I'm going to give you a GPS. All you got to do is make sure you got it charged up. This GPS going to get you from here to there. But it's like, if you jump in the car and you're like, man, I don't need that thing. And you going to figure it out for yourself, you're going to end up right back where you were because you're going to be lost,
Yeah,
So,
what the bad thing about our system is if you got a problem listening and following instructions, you probably won't be good in this business because, like Melissa said, we have a GPS, a blueprint on how to become wealthy. But here's the thing: most people have an issue listening to somebody, especially when it comes to their money, even though they're in a bad situation. So if you're open-minded to listen to the strategies, like Melissa saying, we're talking about things that are not being taught in school, and it's going to sound foreign to you until you apply them. When you apply this information to your own personal situation, you will start to see some positive cash flow.
right. And then, the cash flow strategy. I looked at that. It's like an app that we have where you go in and you literally are listing every bill you have, how much you're putting, how much you would like to have when you retire, how much you're going to need to live off. You put all that information in the system and it's going to calculate how much you need to put aside every month to be able to get there. So when you look at that total, because I ain't going to lie, I looked at my total and I was like, where am I getting that from to put up every month? Because I'm like, I ain't got that kind of money. But that is when the strategies start kicking in. Because think about it like this. When I got started, I had maybe two or three credit card bills that were basically maxed, which for me, up in a couple of thousands at that time. So if I got three, that's $6,000 worth of credit card bills. I had a car note that was a little over $400 a month. I had rent that was over $1,000 a month. So, not to mention all the other stuff, utility, all that stuff. So I'm looking at this money I got, and like I said, now I got an extra, altogether, an extra $800 a month. So this is where the strategies come in. I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, I got two choices. Either I can go in and pay the biggest bill first and then just work my way down, or I can put a little bit on this one, a little bit on this one, a little bit on this one. Or, it gave me a breakdown. And it was up to me how I chose to do it. But at the same time, it shows you, okay, if you go ahead and pay this one off, and you were paying $100 a month on it, so you got an extra $100. What you gonna do with that now? How you gonna divide that up and pay? Or are you gonna take that $100 instead of deciding to start building your account? Because it's like that's another option. Do you want the first thing you do is to build your emergency fund? Because that's an option too. You can just take all that extra money, put it in an emergency fund until you get to your max, and then start paying on, eliminating debt. So I'm saying all that to say, it's up to you. But had they not set up and laid these strategies out and showed me my options, then I would have been still spinning my wheels. And not to mention, I wouldn't have had the extra $800 to even ponder over how I'm going to do it. you know? So, and not everybody's going to get an extra $800. It just depends on how much you are overpaying right now. And everybody may not be overpaying the same amount. I didn't help someone who, when we finished, they were only getting an additional $100, like $50 a pay period, because they were already not paying a lot in taxes.
Right.
So they were looking at it like, well, I don't know if this is really going to benefit me, if it's just, because when somebody hear your story, like you listening to my testimony, and you go do yours, and they say you only get $200 instead of $400 a paycheck. Are you going to quit just because you didn't get what I got?
Right.
You don't realize how much I was overpaying.
Right.
I was getting a lot because I was doing way wrong.
Right.
It's not like I get a bigger reward. That tells me I was in a bigger mess.
Right.
Than this person. So the person with the $100, I'm like, well, the membership is $34.95. Even with you getting an additional $100 after you take the $34.95 out, that's an extra $60 a month. That's money that can be going towards gas. That could go towards your emergency fund. I know it's not a lot, but the other thing you have to understand is a lot of times you may not even see the benefit fully until after your first tax season.
Right.
But see, when it's time to file your taxes, that is when you start looking at deductions like that internet bill I was talking about, or the cell phone bill. This is when all that comes in, because what you're trying to do, or what you are going to do with all of those additional deductions, you are lowering your taxable income. And I don't know if that sounds overwhelming, but all it's saying is right now, they taxing you on, let's say, $100,000 a year. And so they eating you up. You still gonna make $100,000 a year, but now that you got a business, all of those little things like the mileage, the cell phone, the internet, all of that is chipping away at that $100,000, because they say, well, we're gonna deduct this, we're gonna deduct that. That's why the word deduction is such a good thing, because when you're reducing how much money you make, you are increasing how much you bring home. It sounds backwards, but lowering that taxable income means you bring home more money. So to me,
I think this is the part where you really have to write it down to make it plain, because you can talk about it, but it may not register in folks' heads. Like, here's the thing: people need to know what their tax liability is. If you make $30,000 and you got 2 kids, your tax liability is going to be different from Melissa. So if you understand how much you're supposed to pay in taxes, you won't overpay what you owe in taxes. And what Melissa was saying, your deductions, the cell phone, the cable bill, all of these things will lower your taxes so you can get more money back. In the name of the game is to stay cash flow positive, but also get more money back. So it's like, I think you have to write it down and make it plain, because most people don't know how this tax thing works. But if you have a business, you're putting yourself in position to win the tax game.
I'm gonna try to put together some type of visual that we can show. Because it's much more plain to see when you can actually see.
I think our number one asset sheet is a good one to use, because it has a breakdown and show you how you could actually use what you spending money on to put money back in your pocket. So maybe next week or a weekend or so we could break down the number one asset sheet.
Something like that, because I think hearing us talk about it and versus hearing us talk about it and being able to look at it is going to make it a lot plainer. And people get so hung up on, because I got hung up on it too. Like technically, not technically, this is a business. So whenever you have a business, you're looking to make a profit. So I guess the thought pattern next is, well, if nobody joins my team or if nobody is interested in buying my product, am I still in business? Well, yes, you are, as long as you're still attempting to make a profit and you're keeping up with your records. I personally can tell y'all, trust me, if I had a team of 10,000 people, I would be living a lot better than I'm living right now. So that is not the case. Now, I have some associates where that is the case. They have accelerated and gone on, but I'm not competing with that person. I'm trying to make sure that Melissa is doing better at this business than Melissa was doing yesterday, last week, last year, that I'm being consistent. That's what you look at, because if we use other people as measuring stick, you'll quit a lot of stuff. You'll quit before you get started. Because you're judging yourself based on somebody else's accomplishments.
Right.
I don't worry about Tony's team is way bigger than mine. And he got some of the best people on it because I'm on his team. So I had to throw that in there. So, but I can't judge my accomplishments based on how many people Tony got, and vice versa. So what we do is encourage each other, try to come up with different ways to get this information out to y'all that's listening, and try to do what the two co-founders were doing when they started in the first place. If we stick to their principles, and their principle was to not only make money, but to teach other people how to make money.
Right.
It would be
what's really crazy is that it only takes one or two people to really be consistent. So like me, Melissa, and we got a few people here in Alabama, but you got Florida and Texas, and we all don't know the same people. But we have to try to educate based on our own experience. Now, we would love to have more people come on and share their experiences, but everybody has to have their own testimony. I think that's the bread and butter of this business, is to be able to tell somebody, what has this business done for you? And I can tell y'all, it ain't always about the money you're making. It's the tax savings behind it. It's the credit. It's the experiences that you can use to go get a great vacation that you got at a discounted rate. It's about helping other people. So if I don't have to make $50,000 a month, it would be nice. But to be able to live comfortably and not have to worry about a job that could go down to tomorrow or tonight or to, down the future, I got money saved up and I can continue to ramp up my business to make money.
Right. And then for anybody that's listening and they're saying, well, Melissa, you've been doing this for 8 years and you're telling us pretty much that you don't have a big team. Nope, I don't. But let me tell you what I do have. I have a credit score that has lowered the interest I'm charged when I finance something. I have that emergency account. I have knowledge on how not to run up my debt with my credit cards. I've learned how to use things like the point system with the cards to get free money off of it. And believe it or not, all of that is putting money back in my pocket. So no, I don't have a team of 1,000 people, but that doesn't mean I'm not financially benefiting from what I'm learning. I'm putting that to use every day. This cell phone that I'm using to do this with, I'm writing off my cell phone bill. This ring light, I'm writing it off. Everything y'all see in this office, at some point, is some type of write-off. And the knowledge that I'm gaining is helping me to not spend unnecessarily That's putting money in my pocket. Don't always look at a stream of income as being a check. It's not always going to be a check. A stream of income is the money that you're not spending, the money that you save, and the money that you investing that's growing you more money. You know?
Right.
Before I started this business, I had a retirement account. I didn't know what that retirement account was really doing because I never understood it. And I'm not going to say I can break it down completely now, but I learned enough to know that I need to go find somebody to help me. So I got with the financial advisor. I had them to look at my 401k and help me adjust some things, make it a little bit more aggressive. I don't want it to be super aggressive, but I'm on a time clock because I'm getting older and I'm gonna want to retire with everybody else. Now, based on how I saved before I start this business, I'll be working till I'm about 85. So I'm trying to cut that time back. So I put myself in gear and started investment accounts and you know, you might not look at that as money, but I look at it as money because if I learn from this investment account to go invest in something that's gonna give me a rate of return where my money is doubling like quicker, I'm making money.
Absolutely.
Y'all don't look at that. You may not look at it as money, but trust me, when I get ready to retire, it's gonna be money.
I heard that. Hey, for the sake of time, let's go back to Ecclesiastes 11:2. When we talked about God wants us to have 7, 8 streams of income. So let's talk about our membership. Let's give us some run down a couple of them off the top of your head. How joining my econ for this $10 membership that we have, how it can create these streams of income for you just with this one business.
Well, you know, like I said before, the initial stream of income will come from you updating your W-4 and putting that money back in your pocket. Another stream of income can come from if you use the free do-it-yourself credit repair kit and you get your credit in a bit. Maybe you want to refinance your house and lower the payment because when you first got it, your credit was at a different rate, and now you know you can do that. Another thing. You may want to hire your child. If you got kids, that's another way to bring another stream of income because you know what? My daughter is 13. She's been my employee since she was 5. Even though she can't do everything I can do for the business, Uncle Sam says because she's under 18, she's not going to be subject to Social Security or federal income tax. So any money I pay her out of my pocket is considered an expense for me. So there's another stream of income. So having your child join your business. What's another one? I'm trying to think.
Let the business income part, the referrals business.
That's I don't know how I forgot that. Yeah, ain't nothing. That's as simple as it can get. You tell somebody about the business, they sign up, they give you a incentive, a financial incentive for that person starting. If that person signs more people up, they will get a financial incentive, and you will still get an incentive, not as much money as the on down the line because, as the downline grows, whatever, But my whole point is that's easy money because you just get money for telling people your story and helping them get in and start saving money.
All right, let's talk about the investing. Investing?
Oh gosh, the investing. Now, investment creates passive income. When we say passive income, that means when you lay down and go to sleep, when you wake up in the morning, your money is double. How would that feel to you? You didn't do nothing but go to sleep. Well, when you put your money in the right investment tools, that's what's basically happening. And if you are a young person, let's say you just graduated from college, you starting this business at 22, you are not going to retire until you maybe in your 50s or whatever. Even if you only putting $100 a paycheck into a fund, do you know how much that's going to grow over the years? If you don't, join this business to find out.
All right, products and services.
Products and services. You have some people that don't feel like they got a business unless they sell something. We got something for them too. We sell the credit repair system. We sell roadside assistance. We still do that, right? We got roadside assistance. We got nutritional products for people that like the vitamins, teas, all that type of stuff. We have what else?
Travel.
The travel. Oh my God, that's a whole nother thing. Like for people out there, travel really, in my opinion, maybe I was on the rock before, But it seems like in the last 10 years, these travel businesses started popping up and seems like everybody had something going on with travel. So even though I'm not as avid a traveler as Tony, I invested in that business. And whenever my family travels, I can get them a discount depending on where they're going and, time of year. So that's also a financial incentive for me. If I get people to purchase the travel, or if they don't want to purchase the travel for themselves, if they use my travel and I get points, those points can be converted into purchases and cash and all that type of stuff.
And that's a stream of income.
It's a stream of income.
Wow, this is great. You pretty much kind of covered about 6 or 7 streams of income off of this one financial membership.
Right. And then the one tool that we have that makes all of it come together is the cash flow manager, because Uncle Sam says if you don't have records of this, even if you sitting here telling me, like me sitting here telling y'all all this stuff now, y'all can take my word for it, but you know who is not going to take my word for it? The United States Treasury. They're going to be like, I'm going to need to see it. So I have to go in and enter that information and make sure that everything lines up. But if you are doing it, why would you not want to make a line up and have the records to show for it? You're not going to go to court without having your evidence, are you? Because if you do, you're going to jail.
Hey, how about let's talk about how people actually joined MyEcon and created other businesses from the information that they learned.
That is so true, because I have taken classes. I like one of our members, June Collier. He got in and he got so good at the investment piece that he teaches an investment stock market class for beginners. I signed up and took that class, and I'm still taking it because every time he offers it again, because I paid the first time, I can go back and, like, I guess you would call it in college, audit a course, so I can sit through and hear it again. Other people, we have people in our business that do taxes, because our business at this point, who knows what the future gonna hold. At this point, we don't have anybody in the business that does taxes. So if you got in here and that's your niche, okay, you got a whole new group of people who, because it's like that, not all tax people are created equally. A lot of times tax people are used to dealing with folks that have a W-2 job. They may not be as familiar with the 1099. So if you got people in the business that understand the business and they doing taxes, they making a killing because all of us is looking for somebody.
Financial advisors. Financial advisors.
That's how I got started with my investment account. I got Mr. Thomas. Mr. Charles Thomas came down. He sat with us and he went over investing, how to read. Like, he's not telling us what to invest in, but he's telling us what all of the terms mean when you go in there, and the difference between Charles Schwab and T. Rowe Price and all of that stuff. These are people who are coming and doing that, and we don't have to, they do this for a living, but they came and did that seminar for us because we are in the business with them. So
credit repair.
Credit repair is the best example, because I always say with credit repair, you can create 3 different streams of income. You create the first one when you fix your own credit, because now you're getting better credit, you're getting better interest rates. So that's an automatic get money in your pocket. Second way, this is a product that we sell as a standalone. If you got friends, family, whoever that are looking for a credit repair product, you can sell it to them. I think it's like, what is it, $95, $100, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's something around there. You're gonna get a 50% commission on that. So you sell 10 kits, 10 times whatever the 100 is, and you get half. So that's another stream of income. Third stream of income is, there's always gonna be a group of people like me when it comes to taxes. I don't care how many times you show me how to do it. I don't want fool with doing my own taxes. So I'm gonna pay somebody to do it. Same thing with credit. There are some people that just, and I've been told this, because I tell them, no, I don't do other people now. I can give you the kit, but I don't do that. But if you get in and you do the tax thing and it comes so natural to you that you like, man, I don't understand why they don't want to do it. All I gotta do is just me. That's the point when you turn to yourself and say, self, I can start my own credit repair business. If I know what it takes and these people trust me to do it, I can do it. And like where I don't even know the name of a credit repair.
Lexington Tax or something like that. Lexington.
Okay. Let's say
Yeah.
Lexington is charging you, I'm gonna just say $500. They guaranteeing you, I don't know how they do it. Maybe they say 30 points, $500. Well, you are a business too. So you tell them, man, they charge you that much, I do it for 400. There you go.
Yeah.
All you got to do now is do what you do, and it's something that you enjoy doing anyway. So why not make money? So you done took one thing, our credit repair kit, and you done turned that into 3 different streams of income. You can't beat that with a stick.
Hey, not to mention that you can actually become a content creator, because it gives me a lot of my material, because if it was not for my econ, I probably wouldn't be on social media, TikTok, and all of that stuff, just sharing this information. So I become a household name. I got 2 or 3 fans. I tell my wife all the time, I got 3 or 4 fans be looking for me.
You might as well copyright it's your guy. You might as well go and copyright this, because when folks see, that's the first thing they see. And Planet Fitness ought to be paying you too, because you plugging them every day. They need to cut y'all some too.
Break me off. Hey, we getting close to that hour, so you about ready to wrap this thing up?
Yeah, so all right, looks like we won't be seeing you guys again until after Christmas. I hope everybody has a safe holiday. Look, we are still having our holiday promo. We're not doing the 95 cents, but we can get you started for $9.95. And if push comes to shove, and you really had to spend that extra $9 on that gift, we got coupons. We'll give you $9. Okay? But don't let this year end if you feel like this is information that you need and you can use. Don't sit on it. Go and reach out to us now. We on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever you see us at. You want to find out about the business. I also included both of our links in the drop down on this video. So just reach out to us. Let us know you want to get started, and we can get you started today. So Tony, have a great holiday.
Oh, I got one thing. I got one thing in closing.
What you got?
One stream of income can be hazardous to your health and your wealth.
That is so true. We all one week without pay away from being in the hole.
Okay.
That's something to think about. That is definitely something to think about. So all right, I'm gonna take us out of here so I can upload this on Instagram, because if I go by an hour, I can't do it. And I did go live from Instagram, but it don't feel the same. I'm gonna upload it. Okay. So all right, we out of here, y'all. Let's see.